Hello, and welcome back again. In this episode, we're going to talk about self-righteousness. It reminds me of a sermon I saw from Vodi Baucham, and he said that people just generally know that they've sinned, that they've done wrong things, don't they? And he very powerfully said, no, they don't. They really don't. The murderer over here, well, okay, he's done wrong. He's bad. He's a sinner. But me, no, I'm generally a nice person. So I'm self righteous. So the idea of being self righteous, are we good people or bad people? Some people would argue for both sides. So if you are self righteous, the Bible seems to say you missed it. You've missed something. Is it right to be self righteous? That's a good question for the day. Am I a good person, or does the Bible say that I'm a bad person? Let's learn together.
What does the Bible say about being self-righteous? Proverbs 30:12 through 13. There is a generation that is pure in their own eyes, yet are not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes! Their eyelids are lifted up. Luke 16:14 to 15. The Pharisees, who were lovers of money, also heard all these things, and they scoffed at him. He said to them, "You are those who justify yourselves in the sight of men, but God knows your hearts. For that which is exalted among men is an abomination in the sight of God." Proverbs 28:25 through 26. One who is greedy stirs up strife, but one who trusts in Yahweh will prosper. One who trusts in himself is a fool, but one who walks in wisdom is kept safe. Isaiah 64:6. For we have all become like one who is unclean, and all our righteousness is like a polluted garment. We all fade like a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, take us away. John 9:39 through 41. Jesus said, "I came into this world for judgment, that those who don't see may see, and those who see may become blind." Those of the Pharisees who were with him heard these things, and said to him, "Are we also blind?" Jesus said to them, "If you were blind, you would have no sin. But now you say, 'We see.' Therefore your sin remains." Proverbs 27:1-2. Don't boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Let another man praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. 2 Corinthians 10:17-18. But he who boasts, let him boast in the Lord. For it isn't he who commends himself who is approved, but whom the Lord commends. Jeremiah 9:24. But let him who glories glory in this, that he has understanding and knows me, that I am Yahweh, who exercises loving kindness, justice, and righteousness in the earth. For I delight in these things, says Yahweh. Galatians 6:3. For if a man thinks himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he who is wise listens to counsel. Proverbs 26:12. Do you see a man wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. Jeremiah 2:35. Yet you said, I am innocent. Surely his anger has turned away from me. Behold, I will judge you, because you say, I have not sinned. Isaiah 5:21. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. May God add blessing to the reading of his word.
So, about being self-righteous. I find this video really worked well. I didn't mean it to be, but it does. It's like you're in the tunnel and you see life a certain way, so I'm not so bad. I'm pretty self-righteous. I'm doing okay. But then suddenly, boom, you leave the tunnel. Wow, the world looks totally different on the other side. So you're the same person, but you start to see things in a different way. This is the way, this is what I got from these scriptures. When I'm in the tunnel, I view things a certain way. So the idea is once we get to know God, we see life in a different way. We see whether we're good or bad in a completely different way. We start to see things from God's perspective. And we have things like if you're wise in your own eyes, you deceive yourself. And it said that a lot in these passages. You deceive yourself. It's not correct the way you're looking at yourself, but it takes a transformation. So this idea, and now as we come into another tunnel, right? That's the way we see ourselves. We're okay. We have this we actually call it a tunnel view, you know? We only see what we want to see. So of course we're okay. When we're looking at ourselves from this tunnel view, we're okay. But then, wait for it, we're out of the tunnel again. And now we can see things from God's perspective, full of green trees and beautiful skies. So in the tunnel, we see from a worldly perspective. But when we leave the tunnel, then we can see things from God's perspective. At least that's the way I see it, and I hope this helps. Let's keep learning together. So we have our modern expression, by the skin of your teeth. This means to just barely do something with a lack of time, competency, or efficiency. So you just barely get it done. This comes from Job 19:20. My bones stick to my skin and to my flesh. I have escaped by the skin of my teeth. So just barely getting something done by the skin of your teeth.